Back for another chapter of Desmond Cole Ghost Patrol, now museum, now you don't. And it is chapter 4, Mummies, the Word. While most of the parents went to see the butterflies, Desmond and I walked through the museum on our way to the Mummies exhibit. We passed through the art room, which seemed to be where all the rest of the grown-ups were. They were staring at the art as if they were under a spell. Desmond and I looked at the new art for a little while, and as usual, none of it made sense. There were paintings that looked like something I finger painted when I was in kindergarten, and a squiggly sculpture that seemed more like painted spaghetti. And there was even a painting of a woman who had 10 eyes, all on one side of her face. "Why don't artists ever paint pictures of ghosts?" Desmond whispered to me. "Probably because ghosts are invisible," I whispered back. Desmond nodded. "Good answer," he said as he grabbed my arm. "Come on, we have to find the Mummy King." He was right after all. It was why we were there. There's some of those pictures of the art. So we kept moving through the museum into a room filled with old statues. They were huge and so real looking. "This one looks like you," said Desmond with a laugh. The statue did look a little like me, if I carried a sword and had a ton of muscles. "This one looks like you," I said, pointing to a statue of a guy riding a chariot. "I would never know how to drive one of those things," Desmond said. As we left our statues behind, we passed a really creepy mask. Desmond and I had seen that mask before when we were hunting for monsters, but that was a whole other story. Desmond leaned closer to me and whispered, "Remember this creepy guy? I still think that mask is haunted." Before I could respond, the mask actually started talking. In a deep voice it said, "Desmond Cole, you are right. I am haunted." Guys getting scared? The tiny hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I was about to faint when Mr. Roberts popped out from behind the mask. "Sorry, kids," he said with a laugh. "I couldn't help myself, especially when I heard you talking about this mask." Oh, that Mr. Roberts. I let out a whimper. "So it's not haunted?" I asked him. "Of course not," Mr. Roberts said. "The only thing haunted in this place are the snacks in the vending machines. I wouldn't eat any of those if I were you. They're so old that I bet there are potato chip mummies by now." "Thanks for the tip, Mr. Roberts," Desmond said. "Now we've got a mummy we need to see." On the way to the mummy exhibit, we stopped to check out the vending machine. Mr. Roberts was right. Nobody had gotten a snack from it in a long time. There were cobwebs on the inside. Plus the snacks were so old that I'd never heard of them before. "Doodle birds?" I said, reading the label on one of the bags. Who would eat something called doodle birds? But I knew who would. Desmond Cole. That kid would eat anything, even if it wasn't made by his parents. I was pretty sure cobwebs, weird names, and stale food wouldn't stop Desmond if he was hungry enough, so I grabbed him. "Let's go," I said, pulling me away from the vending machine. "We were there to see mummies, not eat doodle birds." And that's the end of the chapter.